1 minute, your world is normal. The next, it's gone. A flood, a fire, a crime scene. Your home shattered. Your business shut down. Your life on pause. But in the darkest hour, when chaos knocks at your door, that's when Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County shows up. Not just a company, not just a cleanup crew, but neighbors, parents, coaches, locals who care. Drake and his team aren't just restoring properties. They're restoring peace, restoring dignity, restoring lives. So when your worst day arrives, call the oh no guy who becomes your thank God guy. Serve Pro of Northwest Lake County. Locally owned, nationally known, unshakably trusted. From devastation to restoration. Serve Pro, Northwest Lake County. Looking for a car dealer that actually feels like your hometown? Welcome to City Chevrolet of Grayslake, where the vibe is friendly, the pressure is off, and you'll always be treated like family. Meet Anthony Scala. He's just not the owner. He's a guy that grew up in the car business, worked his way from porter to owner. Anthony believes in people first. That's why City Chevy sponsors your kids' teams, your town events. And matter of fact, this show, they give back every chance they get. Anthony thinks that the experience of buying a car should be fun. No pressure, just honest people who care. Whether you need a new Chevy, a quality used car, or just service you can trust, City Chevy is here for you. Come visit City Chevrolet of Grayslake right off of 120. And thank you for sponsoring our town, our stories, our voice. Let's get after it, Grayslake.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Discovering Grayslake. I am happy to be recording here right on Center Street from my good friend Kristen Cashmore's at Bellevue Studios. Right on Center Street, if you guys are looking for any kind of photography, from wedding photography, she does seniors, she does kids, all kinds of different photography. Kristen is awesome, and actually does pictures for the fire department.
Correct.
All right, so speaking of the fire department, I'm sorry to keep badgering you, but we have our fire chief, Dan
Pierre.
Pierre. See, I don't know why I want to say it different, Dan. I don't know.
It's okay.
All right, well, I appreciate your time being here. Big
well, thank
time.
you for having me.
Yeah, you know the cool thing about, so we're at like episode 160-some things through Grayslake, and it took this long to get you, so I apologize about that.
No, it's my crazy schedule, but...
You do have a crazy schedule.
I do, so...
And a lot of people to take care of over there.
Yep.
So how long have you been the fire chief in Grayslake?
So I was sworn in as the fire chief in 2020, so during the pandemic.
Oh, wonderful.
So I've been with the Grayslake Fire District for 32 years. So little over 3 decades.
Wow.
It's been a wonderful experience. I've been passionate about, doing a good job for the community, making sure that we have the highest service delivery to our communities so that, we're meeting the expectations of the communities.
Sure. And now, because I grew up here a long time ago, now with 2 fire stations,
We have 3.
3. Where's the third one?
Third one is down at Route 60 and Peterson Road.
So that is yours also?
Correct.
Okay, so the second one by CLC, that was the second installment,
correct.
Right?
That one was built in 2004, and Station 3 was built in 2012.
Wow. Is that because of population, because of timeliness to get to a call?
Yeah. So some of the residents down in that area, it would take literally at least 10 minutes for us to deploy from Station 1 to get down to those the senior community that's down that way.
Saddlebrook over there.
Correct.
Yes. So it's important to have somebody right there.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, so that probably makes it a little more tricky than some of your predecessors having one station, right? And having
it does make it a little more complicated, but as we always do, we adapt and overcome.
Isn't that true? Then you never know what we're up to. So let's go all the way back. So as a little boy, were you the kid that was like, oh my God, I'm going to be a fireman someday?
So I always had a interest in it, but I didn't know that I wanted to be a firefighter. But even when I was a teenager growing up, I was like, I think I like doing that, but I didn't know that I had the physical capacity to do it.
Interesting.
Until I became an adult, and then it was like, I did have an uncle that was a firefighter. He loved it. He shared stories about, his experience. And shortly after I graduated high school, I wound up getting a part-time job on a fire department next door in Gurnee. Okay. from the moment I walked through the door, I knew that that's what I wanted to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool when you actually find that light bulb goes on, right?
Yep.
So now, did you grow up around here?
So I grew up in Northbrook. And then shortly after graduating from high school, I moved in with my brother who lived in Gurnee.
Okay. So then just right into there. Did you have family that was in firefighting?
Nope.
No one led you that direction, so it's not like a family thing.
Yeah, family of electricians.
Interesting. So you didn't want to be an electrician?
No, I did not.
There. Well, and I think you're taking one of the ultimate like service things, where the trust of the community and everything, and you can make a difference every single day you go to work.
Exactly.
Right?
Honesty and integrity all the way.
Yeah.
Being able to be trustworthy to our communities. They invite us or they ask for our help on their worst days. So they invite us into their houses, and we have to be trustworthy when we're there that, there should be no question as to whether or not they could trust us.
No. And I guess I never have thought about it that way. Maybe I'm so trusting that I'm like, yeah, well, we do put our faith and trust into that.
That's right.
Okay, so you started Gurnee. So how long are you're just starting at Gurnee? So how long are you there?
So it was, I worked there part-time for 3 years. Yeah, it's been 35 years in the fire service.
Grayslake Rehabilitation Center is a community-based private practice physical therapy provider. Do you know they have 13 clinical providers with various levels of specialties, including orthopedics, sports, neurology, vestibular, geriatrics, pelvic floor, and aquatic? What? Did I just say they have a pool? Well, they do, and it's the largest indoor warm water pool in Lake County, featuring 2 underwater treadmills and swim currents. And recently added clinical treatment specialties, in layman's terms, shockwave. They have both radial and focus units that are the newest tool in regenerative medicine, available to everyone. They pride themselves on the most current and up-to-date specialized care to keep you moving. If you're looking for physical therapy, make sure to see our friends at Grayslake Rehabilitation.
Wow, so straight from Gurnee, then the only other place that you've been besides Grayslake is there. So how do you make the turn to get to Grayslake?
So back when we started to test for full-time employment, Gurnee and Grayslake had a joint test. And so when you tested for them, you tested at both places automatically. So I thought I was testing for Gurnee, but it turns out I did really well in the test at Grayslake. And from the moment I walked through the doors at Grayslake, I knew that was home. That was where I had to set down my roots. And so my family and we set down our roots here, but we wound up moving out of Grayslake after we lived in town for 10 years. Okay. And then we just moved a little bit up the road into Lake Villa.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you take the job in Grayslake, who is the chief at that time?
That would be Chief Don Mulvey.
Oh, Don Mulvey.
Yeah.
And we had a little talk off there, but Don has been a family friend. Him and his lovely wife are great people.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and it seems like Don is a very, very well respected man in the community,
yes, he is.
Especially by the firefighters for sure. How long was he chief?
He retired in 2008, I believe it was, and then Fire Chief John Christian took over from there.
Gotcha.
And then until 2020, till he retired.
Right. Okay, so during that, you get to learn. Was it your thought ever like that you were going to be chief, like when you were starting there and you're? So
I was the 12th chief, I think, in our organization's history. So as far as the modern era is concerned of people within our department, I was the only chief that actually worked at every level of the organization coming up. Again, this is the modern era. So I worked and was promoted from each level. So I think that when I got to that point where I was thinking about, is this the next step I want to take? Mm-hmm. I was very comfortable in the deputy chief position, and I felt like with the then fire chief, John Christian, I thought we were on a similar timeline or a similar path that when he was going to go, I was going to go too, and hand that off to the next hard chargers.
All right.
I wasn't sure that I wanted it, but when he did tell me that he was intending to retire, I had to give it some serious thought, and I'm glad that I did, that I moved forward, because I gained a lot of respect and perspective to my predecessors, and I couldn't understand as to how they did what they did when it's like the weight of responsibility for not just your crew anymore, because I was a lieutenant at one point and you're in charge of your company. It's now the weight of you're responsible for everybody in the organization. So there was a lot of respect that was owed back to my predecessors, and that's why I continue to keep contact with them to this day, because I still rely on them for guidance and support, and they're obviously they did a lot of great things when they were chiefs, and I'm so respectful and grateful for that.
We're taking a quick break just to say hello, because everybody knows Nano, and Nano knows real estate. And actually, I believe that's the name of her Instagram page. So if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or know somebody in the market for a home, contact Nano from Baird & Warner. She's a Grayslake girl helping out Grayslake people. Looking for a place where there's always something happening? Welcome to the Grayslake Village Center. Whether you're planning a family outing, a date night, or a fun night out with friends, the Village Center has something for everyone, year-round. Enjoy a fantastic mix of restaurants, unique retail shops, and exciting events that bring the community together. And just steps away, you'll find Central and Gelatin Parks, home of the library, aquatic center, skate park, senior center, and numerous recreational opportunities. Whew, that's a mouthful. So if you're looking for something to do, come explore, dine, shop, and play right here in the heart of Grayslake. Find out more at grayslakevillageCenter.com, and go check them out on social media and give them a like, give them a follow.
Oh, that's awesome. And too, with that, like, when you have a real big problem, there's not many people that can probably answer it that have that kind of experience. So
that's right.
It's nice to have those guys to lean on, right?
Correct.
And I'm sure they love it too, because I'm sure that no one does what you do and they don't miss it a little bit, right?
Yeah. Correct.
But a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the chief job is you can't enter into that lightly, right? You have to be
right, ready to go, 24/7, 365.
Wow. I find that funny because when talking to the chief of police in town here, too, I think that you guys in common have that you worked at every level. I think he worked up from community service officer all the way through.
Correct.
Which is good, because then you can relate with everybody in those other positions,
exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. If you've been there and done what they did, you can ask them to do what you've already done.
Yeah. And it's understanding that I can understand the perspective of that position, because I did work in it, and this was my perspective of it too. So I think it's gathering, a common thought process or perspective that, hey, I can understand what you're going through or that you're thinking. Yeah,
because it is a stressful job too, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it is.
And hours-wise is not easy.
So there's a fatigue factor. Sure. So it is a lot of responsibility. About 75% of our call responses, if we're just talking about emergency response, are EMS related. Grayslake the village has a community of about 20,000 or 21,000. Yeah. But because we're a fire district, we cover more than just the village of Grayslake. We cover the communities that kind of surround Grayslake too. So we protect a population of about 37,000. Wow. So that that branches out to the Saddlebrook community, to Wildwood, Gages Lake, Third Lake,
like a Fremont kind of
Fremont. Yep. So parts of Haynesville. There's some of Round Lake Beach. There's some of Round Lake Park. So we kind of branch out a little bit, but it's I think it's important that we can continue that. So
yes, and it's good, and it's a safety feeling for people who are there, because when you go to buy a home, you ask what school district you are, what fire district you have, right? You know who's taking care of you.
So 75% is what we respond to EMS calls. So fire activity is way down, I think, as safety enhancements that get made, and so EMS is kind of taken over. When I started the job 30 years ago, it was probably more along about a 60-40 split. So you've seen, about a 15% increase just on the EMS side of things.
Wow.
From that. So, but we're getting busier. We run about 5,000 calls a year, emergency calls. I say emergency responses, that's not all that we do. We do offer other services to the communities like fire prevention services. We do hazmat mitigation. We do technical rescue. So there's other services that we offer to the communities. And of course, we love our community. And, we've had 2 tax referendums that were supported by the communities. And of course, we're very thankful for that. One was in 2008 and one was in 2014.
Wow.
So,
and those are big deals to keep your department running, right?
Yeah. Yep. We're fiscally responsible. We're always make sure that we're putting resources where they need to be. We're doing the best that we can, and we want to provide the highest level of service to the communities.
Yeah. Okay, so how many people are on staff?
So we have 40 full-time personnel and about 35 part-time personnel.
Wow.
About 75.
That's a lot of people to manage.
Yeah, and their families.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so when you say EMS, it's so funny because two things I always wonder. Like every time I see an ambulance in my neighborhood and it's Grayslake,
Mm-hmm.
and then a lot of times there's a fire truck with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I was like, well,
what's going on?
Yeah, well, why is there a fire truck with us if it's just a call for a health thing? So why is that?
So we give our ambulance the latitude of if they need to call for help, so a fire truck will show up with more help. And that's because based on the condition of the patient, they might need an extra person to treat the patient in the back of the ambulance, or they might need a driver to drive the ambulance to the hospital so that the 2 paramedics can be treating the patient appropriately.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And so you guys are in charge of all those calls. So the fire department is in charge of fire and EMS.
Yeah. All of our full-time staff are cross-trained as firefighters and paramedics.
Mm-hmm.
Our part-time, the minimum requirement for part-time work is that they have to be a firefighter EMT.
Okay.
So, but we like to get them or to aspire to become a paramedic also.
Okay. Which is good. And that way it's just more help, right, on every call that happens.
Yes.
I was just thinking because my family and I grew up right off of Atkinson. So with the train problem that we have in here, I'm sure that you guys, like no matter what call it is, maybe it's a call for, this is station 1, right?
Yep.
And then station 2 might just have to pick up and be ready to go, right?
That's right. And that was one of our big pushes back in 2004 when Station 2 was built, is we get transected by the train where, we're trying to get across the other side of the tracks with Station 1 response, and you have to sit there and wait for the train for the next 10 minutes. Yeah. You imagine a loved one that has, a heart attack or a house that is on fire.
Yep,
those are big issues. So I know Chief Mobley and Deputy Chief Formica, they both worked really hard on trying to get a fire station over on the east side of the community so that we weren't as impacted on the emergency responses by the trains.
Yeah. And I'm sure that has saved a lot of lives since then.
Yeah.
I'm sure, because you have to have, just time is everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what is a typical response call like for Grayslake? So I live out, well, I guess it depends where you live, right?
Uh-huh.
But is there like a goal? Is there like a thing that as soon as the call comes in, how fast do you get there?
So ideally, we'd like to be there within 4 minutes. So that, that's the ideal thing. Now, we cover 24 square miles in our fire district. So based on 3 stations, there's probably some areas where that's a stretch to get to 4 minutes.
Sure.
But yeah, that's the goal, is to get 4 minutes everywhere. We meet that mark probably in the 70 to 80% of the time.
It's amazing.
So, and that's if that crew is in that station. Let's say, like you said, Atkinson Road, Station 2 has to respond. If they're in that station and they're not already on another response, they could meet that 4 minute response. If it winds up being that Station 1 has to make that response because Station 2 is already responding, then Station 1 probably gets close to meeting what that goal is of 4 minutes.
Wow.
The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce isn't just networking, it's opportunity. Members get exposure through local events, online directories, and social media, plus access to exclusive resources that help businesses succeed. Make new connections, grow your brand, and be part of the events that bring our town together. Learn more and join today at grayslakechamber.com. The Grayslake Chamber of Commerce, the new wave of business.
That's fast, though.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time the call's in, you got to be ready to go and get in the truck and gone.
So EMS responses, we try to meet the national benchmark of 60 seconds for a turnout time. That means from the time that the tones go out in the station till the time that the guy is going route to the call. That has to be done in 60 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. And then turnout times for fire-related responses, getting in your turnout gear, getting on the truck, and responding is 90 seconds.
Holy smokes.
So a lot of that goes into station design, too. Station 2 is set up really well where that can be accomplished. Station 1, because of the age of the building and the way it was built, that could be a challenge because you could be in some different area of the station, and it's going to take you a while just to get to your turnout gear, to get on your turnout gear,
Sure.
or and then get on the vehicle. So yeah, there's those goals that we're always trying to meet those national benchmarks.
Yeah. What an interesting job, and the adrenaline that must go from the when you have to go and be out in a minute, and then most of the time you don't ever know what you're walking into, right?
Right.
I mean, you would know, but
Yeah.
not like at the extent of it. Most common emergency call that you guys respond to, what is that?
Most common, person ill.
Okay.
People not feeling well. We're in this day and age too where mental health awareness is becoming a bigger issue. So it could just be maybe not somebody that's feeling physically ill, but that is just, might need some help in terms of mental health awareness. So of course, those are probably common calls that we get. And that's usually like a single unit response to them. So, and again, we're supportive. We're always empathetic that we want to understand what's going on with the person. We're not just a service that's going to take them from point A to point B.
Right.
It's to listen and be sympathetic.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because I was going to say I would guess that probably the top one would be like chest pain for men my age.
That is
older.
That is a common one.
Yeah. Or like fire calls. Fire calls, like is there an average of how many? Because I guess I see you guys everybody's always running around, but you don't hear about a ton of fires. But when you do, they're usually bad. But are there a lot of things that you're going and putting out small things?
So actual fire responses are fire-related calls. So you could have a building fire, or you could have like a car fire. We don't have a lot of them in Grayslake, but we respond automatically to both of our auto aid partners. What I mean by that is Round Lake, if they have a building fire, Grayslake will send a unit there.
Okay.
Conversely, if Grayslake has a fire, Round Lake will send a unit. So
Gotcha.
Same thing on the other side with Gurnee, like the east side of our area. Gurnee will come with an engine, and then we'll also send one to Gurnee if Gurnee has a possible fire. So we do that to work together, but also it provides us with an additional unit that can respond in case, again, if we have other units tied up on other incidents, it allows us to tap into another resource.
Yeah. I was just thinking about, because I've had some good friends that are 911 dispatchers for like Lake County and all of these other things, but you obviously have to work hand in hand with the Grayslake Police Department,
Yes.
with others. So one call that come in could require police, fire, EMS, everything, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So that must be you guys have your stuff together, so to say, when it comes to that, right?
Well, so it wasn't always that way. So back in 2008, both the Grayslake Fire Department and the Grayslake Police Department went to a dispatch center together. And that was the first time where we were kind of technically in the same dispatch center. And after a year, Grayslake Police had moved to Glenview Dispatch Center. So we were stuck there, but not to say that there was anything wrong with Fox Lake Dispatch Center, but we stayed there until 2023, where we actually moved to join the Grayslake Police Department at Glenview. So we're moved there. The transition was good. The dispatch center has been great, but that communication element between the fire department and the police department is certainly one of those things that's important, especially when we're working as public safety responders and providers. It's good to have, those communications. So.
Yeah. No, that's great, because that's had to be such a and one mess up from anything could affect people's lives. Yeah. So I guess you have to be on top of that.
Yeah.
What do you think the most rewarding thing you've had since you've taken the chief role? What's the most rewarding thing you have?
Most rewarding is, I think, watching the development of our people. Is I know that I'm the leader of my fire district. I know that there is my job as a leader is to help motivate people to want to. Now there will be some that won't want to, climb the ladder or accept different roles. But I think that what I think we've been successful at is developing that process of people understanding that, it's important for the fire district to be able to have people to be able to move forward and accept bigger roles and promotions. Because for a while there, we were only seeing where firefighters would only want to work up to become a lieutenant, and that would be it for them.
Really?
And so now it was hard, because how do you cultivate that so that you're going to get people that want to work up to become a battalion chief and then work up to become a deputy chief. So, and I think that we've really focused on that over the last few years to help try to nurture that so that people want to come forward. And we're starting to see that finally. And I think that that's a success to a point that, we're seeing the motivation that people want to move forward.
Yeah, and it comes from great leadership, right? When people see the people that lead and want to be like them, or want to, it says a lot what you're doing.
Yeah, I hope it is.
And I'm sure that you guys have there's a different camaraderie against what you guys do is for a job, right? Because you're together for a lot of times.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So the stuff I've heard about you, because I said, well, how's Chief? And they said, he's quiet. He really knows how to get things done, but he'll also let people that are strong, that know how to do their job, he will let them work without micromanaging people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you need to give people the tools they need to do the job.
Yes.
And they're going to surprise you. So, yes. So we have some real go-getters there that, of course, we're very proud of and supportive of. So, someday if I'm doing my job right, when I decide to step down, if I did my job right, somebody should be able to step up and take the reins. Right. So that's always what we're about, is the next man up, but making sure that that person is prepared before they get to that step, I think is important.
Right. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, and the person with the most experience in going around and hoping they're listening to people like you that have been there before. Yeah. And hopefully whoever takes your role after will be having lunch with you once a month to go out and find out what's going on. So obviously you love this community, right? So
I do.
What's one of your favorite things about the community of Grayslake?
My favorite things is our regular pancake breakfast,
of course,
every year. So out of my 32 years at Grayslake, I've been at 31 of them.
Really? Why'd you miss the other one?
I think I was out sick that one time.
Wow.
So, but that was a ways back. The community togetherness, honestly, the party in the park is also a nice celebration, and I think that's Grayslake's charm with that is it has remained a smaller community, but there's a lot of togetherness in this community.
And there's something picture perfect about the fire department right across from Tasty Freeze, where all of the kids because obviously they look up to all the firemen. Dude, it's really cool that it's right there.
Yes.
And watching the guys come across to get ice cream.
Oh yeah, get their ice cream and then giving tours at the station. So we make it a practice that we have to leave our doors open. I know for a while there, especially during the pandemic, that was a little different, where isolation was definitely an issue. But having the doors open and showing the kids the fire trucks, I think, is part of that charm that we talk about that is and will always be a part of Grayslake.
Okay, so if I'm a dad and I have my little guy standing with me and the doors are open, there's a couple guys leaning on the truck over there, is it okay to come say hello? And
every single time.
All right.
Every single time. I think if we're not putting ourselves out there, we're not inviting people in to come see that stuff, then we're failing our mission. Yeah. We're not focused on the community, and that's what we should be focused on is, are we doing what's right for the community? Are we providing the best service that we can?
That's awesome. And I want to thank you, too, because you were kind enough to donate a fire truck ride to school for our bachelorette auction. I think we ended up getting like $300 or $400 for that.
Really?
Yeah, it goes right to the family.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and people are really excited about it.
Yeah.
So, and I think some of the young ladies that were part of it were wondering if they could win it and get a ride to work from couples. I said, I'm not sure that's how it works.
I don't know, but we could investigate that.
Right, exactly. Maybe after the fireman calendar comes out, right after that. Let me see. Okay, so have you listened to any podcasts that I've done?
I have not.
All right. That's my favorite. That's my favorite answer, by the way. So at about this time, through everything, we do something, and I'm looking up on my trusty phone here. We do something we call the Grayslake Hot Seat.
Okay.
So we're going to get to know Dan just a little bit better. So there's some just rapid-fire questions, some personal, some things just to get to know you. And I love these because we spoke a little bit about, when we talked to Jeff, I want to make sure that people in our community know that you're doing a great job and you're a professional, but also you are a human being with interests and family and all of these things, and the people that lead this town are just like everybody else, right?
Yeah.
But I like to get to know everybody a little bit better.
The Grayslake Hot Seat is brought to you by Joe Velez at JPV Financial. It's often said that those who fail to plan are planning to fail. Joe Velez and his team at JPV Financial create unique financial plans that address some of the most difficult challenges that people might face as they get older. No matter what stage of life you're in, having a proactive financial plan can help navigate some of the difficult decisions you'll face, helping you live your life by design, not default. Securities and investment advisory service offered through Osaic Wealth, Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Now for the Grayslake Hot Seat. Hey, thanks, Joe.
All right. So some are serious, some are not.
Okay.
When you first meet someone, how does someone impress you?
Eye contact.
Eye contact.
Yeah.
Not enough of that these days, by the way. That's how I try to judge my little baseball players. When they're if they look at you and they listen, I'm like, if you're not looking at me, I don't know. Yeah. I don't even know what's going on here. Tell me something on your bucket list, something you'd love to do.
Oh, bucket list. Well, if it's a true bucket list thing, I can't say Hawaii because I've been to Hawaii twice already, and that's my favorite place to go. But I know that's a lot of people's bucket lists.
Yes.
But bucket list. I know my wife would want me to say a hot air balloon or some sort of a different.
Really?
Or skydiving. She would probably want that.
Not you?
Not me.
You're not the adventure guy like that?
No.
To both of those, I say, hell no. No way. No way. But something you'd love to do? You don't have one that...
You know what? I'm just happy in this day and age.
I love it that you're content. All right, so if your life was a story up until this point, what would our title of this story be?
A humble and down-to-earth public servant.
Love it. This is not on my list, but okay, what is your favorite either fire movie, TV show? You watch any? Like, do you like is Backdraft or Ladder 51 or any of that? Do you have a favorite one?
So it has to go. I'm a traditional kind of guy, so it's got to be Backdraft.
Love it, love it. I didn't know if people really in the field can watch that or be like, oh, this is totally off base.
Yeah, that was definitely
still fun to watch, though.
Yes,
still fun to watch. What's the last thing you searched on Google?
What did I search? My daughter's a big Green Day fan, so she wants to go to see Green Day this year, so that's what we searched.
Nice. How old's your daughter?
She's 24.
Wow, and good taste in music, too.
Yeah, so she just graduated from Carthage last year.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Awesome. And nice and close to home, so you could see her all the time, too, right?
So she's living down in the city right now. But, yeah, my youngest is second year at Lake Forest College.
Beautiful. And is that so just the two?
Just two daughters.
Wow. And then once they're out.
Yep.
Then
then we figure it out.
Exactly. This is my favorite. One of my favorites. I have so many favorites. First car that you ever had. Your first vehicle.
That I purchased. After high school, I purchased a Chevy Lumina Z34.
What the heck is the Lumina?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a cool car.
So yeah, it was right around the time of Days of Thunder.
Oh, yes.
So it was the same kind of body style as that.
Beautiful. First concert you ever attended?
First concert, Bryan Adams at Alpine Valley.
No kidding.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of it at Alpine Valley. Wonderful. Do you consider yourself street smarts or book smarts?
I'd say a blend, both. I think you know me.
Yeah.
I walk down the middle of the street, so on a lot of things. Right. But yes,
a good combo.
A little bit of both.
Nice. If you could have a superpower, any superpower, just one, what would it be?
That's a good one.
That's a tough one, though.
Yeah. Flight is obviously awesome. Superman is one of the best superheroes, but I can't believe my daughter right now is laughing at me because she's saying, Dad, you just said Superman and you're a Marvel fan.
Ooh, yeah, you can't go deep. But I'm going to tell you, there's not many superheroes that can beat Superman, right? I mean, he's got all the stuff.
He's got everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a Hulk fan, personally, but Superman's going to win every day.
Yep.
Yeah. So Flight.
Yeah.
Flight's really cool. Would the 12-year-old version of yourself think you're cool?
No.
You did not hesitate on that one, did you?
No.
No, why? What would he want you to be?
He probably think I was, Dad, you're a nerd.
Right. Okay. But then again, after I asked that question, I'm like, what 12-year-old kid thinks anybody's cool our age, right? Like, that usually doesn't happen. Do you have a nickname?
Yeah, my dad calls me Bubba.
Bubba.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And, yeah, it was always stuck with me.
Really? Did he call you that when you were little?
Yeah.
Okay. So just
not anymore, but okay. Yeah.
He doesn't walk into the fire station and be like, hey, Bubba, get down here. Because for some reason I think that would catch on pretty fast.
Yeah.
Well, now you'll know who listened to this, because if they walk down the street and yell Bubba at you, you'll know. On a serious note, what do you wish you'd learned sooner in life? Is there something that you really wish you learned sooner?
So education was something that kind of bloomed later in life for me. So I went back. I got involved in the fire service, got a full-time job, and then I decided I was going to go get education. Okay. So got my bachelor's from Southern Illinois University, and then here's the challenge. I waited 25 years and decided I was going to go get my master's degree. And
25 years.
Yeah, 25 years later. And that really challenged me to a point. So I would say, and I've always impressed this to my daughters, I support you 100%. I just want you to go to school to get your 4-year degree. That way you got that out of the way, and that you can always, live your life with knowing that you don't have to kind of hang that over your head of should I go back to school sometime, or should I go to school and get my 4-year degree? So my wife and I, we always push that on our daughters.
Was it hard going back? Was school harder or simpler 25 years later?
It was hard shaking off the rust.
Really?
Yeah, like even like the reading and comprehension part of it.
Yeah.
It took quite a bit of extra time and effort in order to do that. So,
and that's because it's on your title is, what's it,
Yeah, Masters of Public Administration.
Masters of Public Administration. Now, when you're going to class for that, was that you had to be in person or was it online?
Both.
Both.
So yeah, some classes were in person and some were online.
Did you find that the age of people that were taking that, were they taking that right away, or were there people like you that waited a little bit and then did it?
Both.
Okay, both.
Yeah. So.
Because I'm sure it's something, especially when you get out, and if you're hungry to work and you want to start making money and you want to get out there, like it's something you probably push off, right? Yeah. And hoping you don't change your mind if you get that and you go, what are you going to do now?
Right.
Well, that's cool. It's a cool degree. I don't think that I've ever heard of that degree of anybody else that I know. But that's really cool. Are you superstitious at all?
No.
No? Okay, now here's the really important one, Chief. Have you ever eaten a roller dog from a gas station?
I have not.
You have not?
I have not.
Wow.
I have not indulged in that.
Well, that's good because you are in charge of keeping people alive. So if you dare to get sick from that, I'm not recommending it. And speaking of that, and then tell me about the second time you got arrested.
Second time I got arrested? I've never been arrested a second time.
One of these times I'm going to get one of these for sure. If you had to have a theme party at your house, so you and your wife have a theme party, what would the theme be?
Our family is pretty attuned to, we love Hawaii. So it'd have to be like a hula girl party or a luau. So
I love it.
Yep.
I love it. And you've been to Hawaii twice?
Twice.
Gosh, you're lucky. I've never been there. I'd love to go. Yeah, we're going to have to, I'm going to have to make some serious money to do that. 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
An 8.
An 8. Yeah,
I'd like to say that I'm situationally aware, and I try to make sure that, I'm not ticking anybody off or cutting people off, and so it's good. I'm not a big fan of, because I've seen road rage. I've seen people driving rough and that, so I don't want any part of that.
No, I agree. Did you play a sport in high school or in
a
club? What did you play?
I played 3 sports: baseball, football, and hockey. Hockey was the one I loved.
Really?
So yeah.
Yeah, because you don't hear that combination. Because hockey is what season? What would that take?
Winter.
Winter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So baseball in the spring and then football in the fall. But hockey. I was blessed to be part of a team that won state championship when I was a sophomore.
No kidding. That's awesome.
And then we took third in state in my senior year. So yeah. And then I played a little bit of college club hockey after high school, but it never went anywhere from there. Played men's league hockey up until about 5 years ago.
No,
just my back and my knees are,
Yeah, skating's not really good for the knees.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been doing it for a really long time. Well, that's cool. So you came out of high school with a state championship.
Yes, I did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. Hockey. Favorite Grayslake event? Well, I was going to say to attend, but you really don't attend events, do you? You have to be there working probably most of the time. Okay, so what's your favorite Grayslake event? It's got to be the pancake breakfast. Pancake. You're seeing people on Sunday morning, and we're welcoming them into our building, and we show them around. We give them tours of the fire trucks and ambulances. I think it's just a good introduction thing to, because sometimes small children can be a little scared of fire trucks and ambulances, so we try to at least warm them up to that. Yeah. So, and when that's a summertime event, right? So this year it's going to be. He just told me the date. It was either August 27th or 29th. Okay. They had to do that because of the Labor Day weekend. So typically, so the last few years at the Exchange Club has had that pancake breakfast. They moved it up a month because it used to be Fire Prevention Week during October,
But the last few Octobers that we had, the weather was not so good.
Right.
And so they tried to get it to a little bit of warmer weather. So, and the turnout the last 2 years was really good.
That's awesome.
That's great for the Exchange Club.
Yeah, and Exchange Club, if everybody's not familiar, it's such a great organization and giving back in so many ways. So not only is it a great morning out to have some pancakes, but the money goes towards a great cause too.
Yeah.
And bring the kids out to see the fire station and meet everybody. I think that's really cool.
That's right.
So, okay, when you eat tacos, do you turn your head to the right or to the left?
Oh.
These are really important.
Yeah,
Chief.
I'm gonna say that's a righty. That's a righty.
Well, at least most people do it. Most people that they have to figure it out. So if you brought a famous person or maybe a childhood friend or something that's never been to Grayslake to show them how cool our town is, where would you bring them first? And you can't say the fire station.
Yeah. I love the way Central Park has changed over the years. So, that's a nice area now with the aquatic center, the splash pads, and, I think that's a nice area to actually start to show that we have great parks and open areas. Yeah. Rollins Savannah would be another one, So, yeah, I think that those would be probably two places I would start with.
Now that you say that, it's funny because I think so many people, no matter where you live, we take sometimes for granted all the cool stuff we have.
Yeah.
And everybody always see them on, on the FaceTube complaining in groups about, how much we pay in taxes and all this.
Yeah.
If you get out and enjoy the amenities that we actually have, from Central Park to Jones Island to Rollins Savannah to all of these things, there's a lot of things to take advantage of, right? Mm-hmm. And just get out and do it.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. I got two more for you. Hey, bartender, can I have a...
I'm a beer guy.
You're
a beer guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Regular beer, craft beer?
I'm a regular beer.
Yeah, so it would be...
Miller Lite.
You're a Miller Lite guy.
Yep.
Okay, I was going to say Coors Light, but I got you. We talked about... favorite sports team?
Favorite sports team? Lifelong Cubs fan.
All right.
And a Chicago Bears fan, even before this successful season. But I'm a diehard Bears fan.
Nice.
I think anybody would back me up on that because I take my drubbing that from the Green Bay Packers fans all the time. But yes, I'm a diehard Bears fan.
Nice. All right. Let's end with: have you ever met a celebrity?
Oh. Trying to think. I don't think I have ever met a movie star or a musician.
Probably because you're working all the time.
Yeah.
Not out gallivanting around like me. And we'll end one more. Biggest fear. Not
preparing my kids to become adults is. That's a big one for me because I got a 24-year-old and a 20-year-old, and that worries me sending them out into today's world.
Right.
It was completely different when I was that age.
Sure.
So that's my biggest fear.
Yeah, and preparing kids for going out in the world, like I have a 21-year-old. I don't even know what world we're sending them out into.
Yeah.
So they have to be a well-rounded individual,
yeah.
right? And I say, if they just treat people kind and with respect,
yeah.
things get a little easier fast,
correct.
Right?
Yeah,
just in everything they do. So I find it fascinating that you guys have such a serious job, right? And you guys and gals, I'm not saying all guys, but from protecting our community and knowing that I can pick up the phone and dial 911 and I can get help to my home or whatever. But at the same time, you have this other social responsibility where the whole fire district is cool because you're really looked up to. Like the children want to go there, the girls want a monthly calendar. But you have to be present from leading a parade down Center Street here.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other responsibilities besides just saving people's lives and making them feel comfortable.
Yeah,
it's interesting, and it's a very well respected position.
Yeah, thank you.
And you get to lead it. You get to be the ringmaster.
Yep.
So before we're closing up here too, what's a call or a service that you guys may provide that I wouldn't know that the fire district did?
We, believe it or not, we have been called for my bird got out of my cage and is out of the house now. How do I get my bird back in the house?
Most people have no idea what to do with their aging loved one who needs help. Well, there is a solution. A company that provides care and assistance to make your loved one feel right at home. At Right at Home, their mission statement is to improve the quality of life for those they serve. They offer extensive services: personal and companion care, safety supervision and transportation, fall prevention, dressing and bathing assistance, medical reminders, meal prep, hospice support, ambulation support, stroke recovery, Parkinson's support. The list goes on and on and on. If you have an aging loved one that needs help, call Right at Home. Most people prefer to age in their home rather than moving to an assisted living or nursing home. Right at Home can make this happen. Contact Right at Home at rightathomenlc.com or give them a call, 847-984-0103. Now back to the show.
Really?
Yes.
Did you take a class on that ever, on how to get the bird back in the house?
There is no training manual on how to get the bird back in the cage.
Okay.
But actually what we did was we took the bird cage out of the house, put it on the picnic table, and eventually the bird found its way back to its cage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's smart.
Yeah.
Right? It's just problem solving.
Yeah.
You got to be a little creative sometimes on how that works.
That's right.
Craziest call you've ever been on, or one of your people have been on?
There've been a lot. Not to go into the gory calls, but there's certainly, I've been through. We had the floods that were in Grayslake. We had the tornado in Grayslake.
Right.
We've had also what were like blizzard conditions in Grayslake, all within the past 15 years. And so those were kind of crazy calls because we had members that were actually responding on personal snowmobiles to help people that were stranded along Peterson Road, and just to get them out of their cars and get them into shelter. So we actually wound up over 20 people that were shuttled to the temple right there at 83 in Peterson.
Yeah.
And just to get them somewhere safe and warm, because you really can't take shelter in your car if you're snowed in or stuck in a snowbank.
Yeah, it gets dangerous fast.
Yeah, very
right?
dangerous, right.
So people went on their personal, and brought people in for shelter like that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I was on duty for that blizzard, and it was really eye-opening because our crew was, I was at Station 2 at the time, and we never even made it back to that station, hardly at all that shift. It was constantly having to move from incident to incident all over the place, and obviously trying to avoid getting stuck because it's a big fire truck, but those are big snowbanks.
Sure.
So you have to be careful about what you're going to drive into. So there was a lot of challenges on that day.
I can't even imagine. And the communication that has to go on that, right? Like,
Yeah.
where are you guys at? Who's the closest to here?
Right.
How do we get there the safest?
Exactly.
How do we get people done? Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. So, even though the other stuff, the gory stuff, whether car accidents or deaths or all of these things, I know that when we talk about how do we go back? Because my friend who was a 911 dispatcher, they had stuff all the time in the police department and everything. Like, your job is to help people in their darkest hours, right?
Right.
But then you guys also have to take care of yourself afterward because it affects you no matter what anybody can think.
Yep.
So that's a huge thing, and I'm sure you have a ton of support with that as well.
Yeah. What we're finding out is there was a stigma that's attached to the job for many years that firefighters are heroes, firefighters have capes, and what we have to do is remove that stigma because firefighters are human beings and they need help sometimes too. We can't just go off the mentality of tough it up, or you're a hero. Heroes don't show vulnerability, and it's going to take a while to eventually put that into the culture of today's firefighters to say, look, no, we're all human beings and we all need help. It's okay to ask for help when you need it.
Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. Well, you guys do have it's just so much, right?
Yeah.
It's so much, and the people that are out there really helping us. So I guess from a community standpoint, when everybody listen, when you see a firefighter out here, a police officer, anybody that's first responders, thank them. Yeah. Right? I mean, it's a very honorable thing, and you choose to do it. That's the other thing. It's not like you said you have to do this, right? You guys are a little crazy that you choose to do this.
Yeah, we do this for our community.
Right. Wow. That must be really tough. Well, thank you for all that you do and everybody there.
You're welcome.
Wow. Anything else that you think the public needs to know about our fire district that I may not be asking you? Maybe about either something that you guys do that we didn't mention, or we always say, hey, the clock's just changed, so that means we need to change our batteries in our smoke detectors, right?
That's right.
So that's a big deal. That could save
change your
people's
clock,
lives.
change your batteries.
Right. That's it. But anything like that people need to
know. So the fire department is there for you all the time. If there's ever any question as to whether or not you have a question of whether or not you should call for help, we always just recommend you just call for help. We can come. No big deal. If you just change your mind and you don't want, any help, we'll go back to the fire station. So sure. we always want our community to not feel like that, well, I'm having a bad day, or I'm having an issue with this outlet here and now it's smoking. I don't know if I want to call for help. Just call.
Right.
That's what we recommend.
Yeah, and I'm the kind of guy that I know some of the people that work with you, and I'd be like, well, I don't want to inconvenience them, but I'm not sure if I feel good enough. Yeah. Should I call an ambulance? Yeah. Should I not call an ambulance? But those minutes that you waste doing that, you could lose your life over too.
Yeah, even in the middle of the night.
Right.
People are like, I'm not feeling good, but I'm not going to call anybody. I don't want to wake those guys up.
Right.
That's what we're there for.
Right. And speaking of fire, so here's if we could put one thing out today that somebody would listen to, like, what is the most common cause of a fire? What can we put in somebody's head today to make them say, don't do that, because it's not okay. Yeah.
So sometimes smoking materials and throwing them in your garbage. We've over the last 20 years, we've seen a rise in how often that happens, where somebody's smoking and they empty their ashtray into their garbage can, which is in their garage, and then they wake to the middle of the night of their garage on fire.
Yeah, so I'm sure. And even with the amount of people that smoke going down, I'm surprised it's like that now.
Yeah, but probably not as much lately, but there was for a while there. We did see a rise in that.
Right. I've seen even 2 houses from where I'm at. They had a fire pit that they didn't put out all the way, and I think they dumped some of the ashes into one of their recycling bins or something, and they wake up in the middle of the night and their side of the house is on fire.
That's right. Yep. Right. That too.
Yeah. So I know they seem like logical things.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that stuff happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to call you.
Correct.
Right. All right. Anything else we want to mention, Dan?
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I always love meeting people, because it's cool to be proud of where you live. It's even cooler to be friends with and know the people that are in charge and to take more pride in your town. So
yes.
I appreciate everything you do, and you lead these guys very, very well. So I appreciate you. Grayslake, do me a favor. Wherever you guys are listening, whether you're on Spotify, whether you're on Apple, whether you're on YouTube, wherever the heck you guys are listening, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, so that way every Tuesday you get to meet a new member of our community. And we're going to keep going. I'm not stopping. So make sure to do that. And as I always end, we never know what our family and friends or just a stranger on the street is going through. So people have bad days. People are going through, especially during this the social climate we live in, people are depressed or having a bad time. So get out there, and I challenge you to do 1 or 2 different random acts of kindness, whether it's waving to somebody on the street or texting a lonely friend, or being nice to the cashier at the dollar store is my favorite one. They're all human beings, and just be kind. And kindness spreads like wildfire, so get out there and do something good. Chief, thank you once again. Grayslake, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next Tuesday, everybody.